Patrick, guess what came in the mail today?
Oh, what?
This.
Stick it in!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of the M&K Productions Podcast. I'm your host, Mac. Joined here as usual by my co-host, Kristen, aka Mr. Mingo. Say hi to the folks at home, Kristen.
Hello. Keeping it short and simple as that. How are you, Mac?
I could be better. We want to get it out the way right now. We lost a furry friend, our Egypt, our cat. He passed away on Sunday at the age of 20, which
that sucks, dude.
Yeah, he actually he was 97 years old in cat years, so he lived a long, prosperous life, and we're gonna go in strides, but we will miss him. So this episode is dedicated to him. And yeah, but besides that, I'm doing good. Just kind of getting it together because this is my first big pet loss, and he's been in my life 20 years. So it's
oh my god, you had him forever then.
Yeah, he watched me pretty much grow up, and that was like my little furry brother. So
I had my dog for 13 years. That was a tough loss for me.
But rest easy, big man. We'll miss you. We got him in the backyard, nice little memorial for him. We're planting flowers and get some stuff for him, and yeah, we're just gonna honor his memory.
Oh, that makes me miss my other dogs right now that I have. I can't have cats, y'all, because my family's allergic. So I'll never understand of what it's like having a cat. But
yeah, you freaking dog. I love Molly. I wish I could have met her when I went to the wedding.
I know. I would have wished she was part of the wedding, but
she should have been. That was blasphemy.
I wanted to.
But
I wanted to.
We're not alone today. Kristen, we have a very special guest who shares the same initials as I do.
Yes.
Real name.
Yes, and that wonderful voice you might have heard already is the wonderful AJ Ford over on TikTok. Now, AJ, you go by like Apple Juice, right, on TikTok?
My hero.
AJ Apple Juice, but you can call me, AJ Angry Joe.
Angry Joe.
Oh no, we got
or just the juice. Or no, don't call me the juice. Just call me AJ.
I just like having it as AJ. It's like Mac has so many different nicknames for him. I just call Mac.
I don't want to be associated with Angry Joe. If you call me Angry Joe, then you done fucked it up.
You're not an Angry Joe fan?
No.
So how's it going? Thank you for coming on our show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's good to finally meet you virtually, Christian. I feel like we've been TikTok friends for a while now.
Yeah, you were one of the first.
Meet you for the first time, Mac. Sorry.
Yes.
Well.
Yes, you were like one of the first TikTok friends I got to know, and I thought it was really cool because I don't message a lot of people on TikTok. The TikTok community I have is just really tiny. It's maybe you and maybe one other person, but that's it. I'm not on as much. I'm not on TikTok as much as I like to be on it. I just am not. I just try to do my content and then sign off. So
I try to be as consistent as I can with TikTok, but right now, the TikTok algorithm is just being mean to me.
I saw your video on that.
Yeah, that was a friends only thing, and I was just at my limit. What the hell, TikTok? Pretty much, I had uploaded Mac, in case you don't know, I do movies and I do music reviews.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of where my passions pretty much lie.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to I did a video of reviewing one of Claro's albums, and I uploaded it, and for the longest time it had 0 views, actual that 0 reviews, not reviews, sorry. Same. 0 views. And I went oh, that's odd. So I just reposted it, 0 views for hours.
That's nuts.
Yeah, and then basically I updated my app, the TikTok app, and then reposted the video again today, and now it's doing better. So I guess I had to
update it.
So if that was the case, then I'm pretty annoyed.
Yeah,
That's annoying.
the TikTok algorithm is like, you talk about the YouTube algorithm, the TikTok algorithm is like the most unforgiving thing, because there's some days where like I post something and maybe it gets 100 views, like okay, that's fine, or it gets like 20 views, and the other times like, why is this post from like 3 years ago blowing up out of nowhere? Like
Yeah.
I do a theme song Thursday, and like my King of the Hill one I posted last year is going crazy. I'm like my new stuff, please. Don't look at the old stuff.
What is theme song Thursday? Can you explain that?
Oh, so it's just like take any TV show or yeah, any animated or live action. I just kind of post the theme song on it. This past week I did I think I did I Love Lucy, or no, I did a House of Mouse last Thursday. Yeah, House of
Oh,
Mouse.
hell yeah.
Da, 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 House of Mouse. But no,
Oh,
it
that
is
is my childhood.
that
Sorry.
that TikTok algorithm is unforgiving. But you know, besides TikTok, and of course AJ's links will be in the description below. Where else can the good folks find you at?
You can find me on YouTube. I basically kind of gave up on YouTube at this point. I don't know, maybe I'll make some kind of comeback. You made a comment about the YouTube algorithm, and like that's its own can of worms.
Yeah.
It
But yeah,
is.
you could find me on YouTube. I'll make a comeback. Definitely when I make my best of 2024 list, which I love doing.
We all love doing that here.
Yeah.
Exactly. You can also find me on Instagram. My handle is IceAJFish, which if you've been on the internet long enough, you'll know exactly what that reference is.
There's something about you, girl, and it makes
I
my
love it. Oh, we played that at my prom. It was great. Yeah, that's my Insta handle. I do have other Instagram accounts that I barely touch. You don't have to worry about those. It's mainly just like a channel for my older movie reviews and poetry that I've done. But again, I don't touch those. I'm probably never gonna update those again. But anyway, I'm rambling.
It's okay.
Letterboxd. Sorry, what?
Oh no, it's okay. We love rambling.
Exactly. um, Letterboxd is just a Ford. Like I'm driving a Ford. But I'm cheating. And what else do I have? I have Twitter. Twitter is a Ford 7787.
Yeah, so you can find AJ at all those beautiful links that he mentioned before: Instagram, TikTok, Letterboxd, and YouTube. But we have a great show in store for y'all today. We will be going over some quick news stories of what we missed the last couple of weeks, and we will be reviewing the brand new Richard Linklater film. Was actually co-written by Glen Powell, the new flavor of the month, and that is Netflix's Hitman. And then we will be wrapping it up. So let's get right into the news.
This is CNN, a network of Turner Broadcasting System.
All right, so the news starting off this episode, I have a nice case of copium with a hearty case of laughter. You guys are familiar with the hit 2024 film Madam Web, correct?
I know where this is going. You picked the same news story as me. Yes.
Is there a Madam Web 2 confirmed? Or
I wish
I
wish there was, but
did they confirm it behind my back?
No. I think this went the way of the 2016 Ghostbusters. They took it out back and shot it. But Emma Roberts, who I'm a big fan of, she went on record in an interview with Variety saying that she blames internet culture for Madam Web flopping.
Oh, bullshit.
So
no, I know, it's so dumb. I'm like, does she not?
I'm gonna be real with you. I'm sorry to say I'm not an Emma Roberts fan. I don't like her as an actress nor as a person. So I don't take anything she says very seriously.
No, I feel like she's very out of touch with everything. I feel like even her father and her uncle are, I mean, not her father, her father and her aunt, excuse me, are very much more aware of the world. Emma somehow isn't.
So let me read this quote real quick. There's no secret. It's about doing something goodish and it hitting at the right time. I'm not intimidated by failure, and I'm not intimidated by people having negative thoughts about something. I personally really love Madam Web. Those words coming out your fucking mouth. Bite your tongue. I really enjoyed the movie. I thought everyone in it was great. The director, S.J. Clarkson, I think did an amazing job. She's the reason I wanted to do that movie. If it wasn't for internet culture and everything being made into a joke, I think that the reception would have been different. And that's what bums me out about a lot of stuff. Even the stuff I've done is that people just make such a joke out of everything now. Now, obviously, do you guys think that Madam Web was really breaking out of that, even if it wasn't for internet culture? Because those trailers looked horrendous. So I don't think this movie was doomed from the start.
They looked unfinished.
Everything for that film was not even reviewable. I remember even saying that in my actual review. I was like, nothing in this film works out. Like, this doesn't feel like a movie. It's just like, I don't understand. I feel like she's trying to be so nice about it. Like, she's trying to be like, oh, maybe this will make people change their minds. I don't think so, honey. It's like, it's bad already. We already knew. We all know the quote, the Amazon jungle, whatever, how it goes.
It's
already time. It's weapon time. You know, everybody knows. It's a joke. It's like Morbius. It's like, you know, Venom.
The reason why that became a meme in the first place is because it was just so awkwardly delivered.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it felt like they just needed to do like 10 more takes in order for Dakota to get it right. Dakota just sounded like he was sleepwalking through that line.
She slept walk through that entire movie, let's face it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, the thing is, too, when people are like, oh, why isn't this like Morbius? Like, the thing with Morbius is that Morbius is to the point where it's actually so bad that it's low-key kind of okay to watch. Like, it's entertaining. With Madam Web, you watch it, you just get depressed. You're like, good God, this is such a boring-ass movie. There's nothing happening.
Sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
You're good.
No.
With Morbius, like, the only piece of entertainment I got from that trailer was, like, Jared Leto's Kurt Cobain looking ass going like, I am a doctor. Like, no, you don't look like a fucking doctor. You look like a fucking male underwear model.
I am Venom. I'm just kidding. It's Dr. Michael Morbius at your service.
Remember they cut it?
They cut it out
from the movie.
They only had the I am Venom and not the Dr. Michael Morbius. So I was like, wait a minute. And it's like, but just some context for Madam Web. It pulled in $17.6 million during its 3-day opening weekend, making it the worst opening for any Spider-Man universe movie. And it's so bad that Hideo Kojima, I mean, I think we all know who Hideo Kojima is.
Yes.
He couldn't even muster up more than 6 words to review Madam Web. He said, overcrowded script loaded with extraneous characters, basic archetypes, and generic dialogue. He gets shit on by the godfather of the Metal Gear Solid series. I just hang it up. Like, I'd be like, man, I can't compete with who made Death Stranding. So I guess there's no reason in. However, the article ends. However, Madam Web appeared in Netflix's top 10 shortly after it arrived to streaming. I'm like, no,
yeah, because people were probably drunk watching it with friends.
Yeah, I'm like, that top 10 on Netflix, I think it's dumb because it's like any movie can be top 10 if it's new and it's on Netflix. And
it also depends on people's algorithm too, because if you know, because everybody's algorithm on Netflix, on Hulu is very different. This was something I studied for a really long time. So I was like scratching my head when I saw it was on the top 10. I was like, why? Like, why is this top 10? Excuse me, Netflix. Is Sony just paying you a nice good chunk to put it there?
Yes.
Joke's on you guys. I don't even have Netflix anymore.
Oh gosh.
IP.
They'll give it to you for free to watch Madam Web. They'll give you a free trial. It's like, watch this movie, we're gonna blow up your computer.
Oh god. So guys, just a heads up, if you haven't listened to our Madam Web watch along video, please go check that out.
It wasn't even a watch along, it was just us just rambling on for 2 hours pretending to watch it.
I mean fair.
It was just funny at the point. I think we talked about like, God, we just went into so many topics. That was a great episode.
It was such a stupid fun episode because I could not care.
Me neither.
I take everything so seriously on this podcast too. That was the day I couldn't.
We gave up. We were just like, yeah, F it. This is the bullshit episode.
All right, anyways, moving on to my next topic because this movie is just about to hit theaters. It's just about. Ryan Reynolds teases another Hugh Jackman team up on a non-superhero movie. What is it? I don't know. Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman are keeping their on-screen bromance going with a whole new genre. As the pair promote their new Marvel movie, Deadpool and Wolverine, Ryan Reynolds revealed he and Jackman are potentially working on another movie together. Quotes, soon. That will be a departure from the superhero genre. We have one we're looking to do soon, he told Entertainment Weekly. So their friends, also in that friendship group, is Jake Gyllenhaal, you know? But right now, Deadpool and Wolverine is set to hit theaters July 26th. Yeah. So, guys, are you ready for Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds continuing taking over the world? And if you're ready for Deadpool,
maybe it's just me and I'm like a very Mr. Plinkett style asshole, but like
nice.
I don't think Deadpool and Wolverine looks very good. I think it looks not funny. I'm tired of Ryan Reynolds. Just stop it. Ryan Reynolds, if you're listening, stop it.
I think for me, I'd rather just see how they do in Deadpool Wolverine before I'm like, hey, let's do another movie. Because it's like, because it could be, remember R.I.P.D. with Ryan Reynolds and Jeff Bridges, and they had like zero chemistry. So like, we don't know what that's gonna be like. I mean, the trailers could just take the good book because we don't know if they're gonna have chemistry on screen. Just because you're friends in real life doesn't mean that chemistry can work well. You know, if it could, then cool. But let's just see how Deadpool Wolverine does, and if it does good and they're good in it, then I'm like, okay, let's do another one together. Then, but if it's not, then I don't want to.
And this brings up the point of what we just saw, like literally almost a month ago. Remember, If came out and Steve Carell and Ryan Reynolds teamed up for,
that
another
movie was
reunion since The Office,
and that movie was mid.
I didn't even get to see it yet. I do want to watch it because that stupid purple little,
it was
munchkin, creature looks adorable.
It was very boring, and it wanted to be adult with some of its jokes, but it's just a PG movie.
It's one of those movies that really wants you to cry. Like, hey, if more like, I don't know.
I was like, where are you going?
I was about to like blow. I was about to blow raspberries just so it could be PBF, but like I don't know.
I would say
if like that movie, it's just one of those movies that really wants you to cry for whatever reason. There's like no reason for that movie to be as sad as it was, and it honestly just made the movie boring and took me out of it, and it wasn't funny, and I don't know. I don't know.
I cried more watching Imaginary than I did with F, and that was a cry of laughter. Imaginary sucked too.
Not the Imaginary.
It was horrible.
I haven't seen Imaginary.
It was horrible. It's like, listen.
I'm sorry. I'm surprised you watched that so soon. Since it just
are you kidding me? Listen, if you see a movie that looks horrendous, you gotta watch it. Like I'm the bad movie man, and that movie was because it's like Chauncey. I'm like, okay, this is speaking to me. I need to watch this, and it was funny.
Before we move on, speaking of horrible movies, I was excited about seeing Back to Black at first, but then I realized it was directed by somebody I'm not a fan of.
What's Back to Black?
It.
Oh, Groomer Sam Taylor Johnson.
Yes.
Oh, that one. I remember. Okay, now I remember.
I was like, no, I'm removing this now. I'm removing. Yeah, I was like, I'm removing this from my anticipated list now. And then I saw AJ. Did you see it? I think you did, right?
No, I refuse. I'm a huge Amy Winehouse fan, and the last thing she would want is a fucking movie
about her.
Like they just completely exploit her. They just completely like talk about her drug addiction and just make it somehow her fault.
Yes, the All Eyes on Me treatment with Tupac Shakur.
I did not see All Eyes on Me.
It was terrible.
Yeah, that's what I figured. At first I was interested, but then like again, there was no way that movie was going to be anything but exploitive.
And I feel like that's what it does because I just put it on my watch list because I'm saying to myself, do I just watch this to see how bad it is? Or do I not give the support Sam would want?
Sam Taylor.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know if I want to do that.
And also, like, the main actress, I'm sure she's fine, but her singing sucks. Like, her singing is like the worst auto-tuning I've ever heard in my life.
It doesn't sound great. And they were promoting this too as like an Oscar baity movie. I was like, okay,
If Back to Black ever got nominated for an Oscar, if any, like, the only Amy Winehouse project that should get nominated for an Oscar is the Amy documentary and somehow the album Back to Black. Just make an album and nominate for an Oscar. Anyway, but
all right.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, go ahead. If you want to move on for that now, Mac, do you want
I'm gonna get heated.
Well, at least we got the Michael Jackson one coming out. That's not problematic at all. But anyway,
It's probably gonna make $1 billion.
Oh yeah, it will.
It's gonna be.
I got
questionable bill. It's gonna be a questionable billion. I feel like at this point.
Nah, it's gonna do well. I feel like they're gonna do. All right. So, have you guys kept up with any Kevin Costner news?
I know that he looks like the fucking KFC Colonel. Like now.
So, his newest film, which is the first out of 4 movies. No, 4. There's 4.
Oh, is it?
There's gonna be 4. Yeah, it's gonna be 4.
Because I saw like chapter 2 was coming out like
August,
a day before my birthday. So
and there's no trailer. Wait, you have an August birthday too?
Yes, August 17th.
August 12th. Let's go.
Oh wow! Look at all the August babies. A lot of my friends are August. So,
but anyway, with this movie, if I can bring it up real quick, Horizon: An American Saga. I had the article, I missed it. It is not doing well with it's kind of mixed right now with critics for the first movie, chapter 1. It's everyone, Kevin Costner had a very public falling out with Yellowstone, and this has been his passion project. Actually, he's been trying to get this started for 30 years. American chapter 1, it's out right now on June 28th. Chapter 2 is going to be August 16th, and chapter 3 and 4 are to be announced. Both 3's in filming and 4's in development. But it takes place during different periods of the Civil War. And, I like the old school style movies like this, but, it's not doing that well. And, have you guys heard anything about it? Were you interested in seeing it? And what do you think about Kevin Costner these days, even though with all these reports coming out, him being hard to work with on Yellowstone?
I don't mean to sound like to continuously keep sounding cynical, but like it just looked like a boomer ass movie. Like it looked like a movie. It looked like a movie that like should have been made like in the 70s and then just like completely forgotten about. And I feel like Kevin Costner at this point is just taking himself way too seriously. I feel like he's kind of full of himself.
I feel that. I just was like I don't care. Like I just remember seeing, I was like surprised to know that this film had its premiere at Cannes, out of all things.
Yeah,
I was like
that honestly.
So I was like, okay, this doesn't feel like the fit for Cannes, maybe, but whatever.
It looks generic.
It does look very generic. I think Costner is an interesting individual. There was like stuff when I see him like accept awards, like some vibe does not work with me with him. Like when I saw the trailer for it, nothing stood out to me, and I was like, pretty much what you guys are saying. Yeah, this is pretty much a boomer movie. It doesn't shine like what it wants to be. Like it gives me like Clint Eastwood vibes. If I'm gonna watch something of that, you're better off watching like something Clint Eastwood or something. That's just my thing. So
I just don't think I'm a Western guy in general, like including Eastwood. I'm not a big fan of Eastwood.
I understand. He's kind of a problematic individual. Guy. He's kind of problematic. But
he's not problematic. He's old school. It's all right.
he is very
It's okay. But I don't know, with this movie, I feel like that's something I'd probably watch on a plane. And, according to Michael Rooker, the reason why the movie isn't doing that well is because the TikTok generation's ruining movies. So I see he's taking the Ridley Scott method of The Last Duel by shitting on your potential audiences.
My favorite part of Horizon was that interview that Kevin Costner did, and he looks identical to the KFC Colonel. I love that. That's why I called him the KFC Colonel right when you mentioned him. You gotta look this up. It's like actually uncanny.
That should be one of the thumbnails
Well,
for
I would
insert
love
that picture.
I would
for
love
this.
that.
Well,
I kept thinking about that Colonel Sanders short film.
Oh, the
Yes.
Lifetime.
With Mario Lopez. Oh, that's like one
Out of all
things
things, that
I've
is, I don't know, it's the greatest thing or the most stupidest thing.
Well, at least they're taking the method from The Strangers by releasing X amount of movies in a short amount of time. Can't wait for Strangers Part 2, by the way.
Yeah, it just amazes me to know now that it's 4 parts. I always thought it was 2.
Nope,
I always
4.
thought it was. Oh my god! All right, well,
It's
good
gonna
luck.
It's gonna make less and less money. The
Nobody's
next
gonna
make
care.
$10,000, and then the third movie's gonna make 100, and then the fourth movie only $5 at the box office.
Oh, that's like the time when, remember when years ago Shia LaBeouf released a movie and then nobody saw it and it only learned like a couple bucks? Do you all remember this?
Well, no, I know there's a movie called like ZX Road made like $300 at the box office.
No, there was a Kevin Spacey movie that was like a rip-off of Wolf of Wall Street.
Billionaires Boys Club.
Yes.
Yep. And apparently that made like fucking jack shit at the
It made like $1,000 because that came out a year after the same year as Baby Driver because Ansel Elgort was in it and then Terry Egerton was in it. And
there was a lot of people.
And Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, it came out like right during the hype of it, and
I gotta find it.
And Emma Roberts was in here too.
Yeah, so going back to Emma Roberts.
Yeah, that it says. I remember they were hyping up this movie, and then
yeah. That's what it was. One Man Down. Man Down. That's what it was called. I just found it, and it was about how Shia LaBeouf movie that only sold just one ticket at the box office.
Oh, that's great.
That's depressing.
Amazing. I mean, Shia LaBeouf is a piece of shit, so he deserves it.
Yeah, this was back in 2017. I remember seeing this. Yeah, Man Down. And it was released overseas. Oh God, that was a time. I remember reading this. Oh God. Okay, anyways, we will wrap it up with our final piece of news. AJ, are you a fan of the show Community?
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't watched it since like the beginning of college, but I was huge into it for a while.
Okay, well, I'm excited to share some update. Joel McHare shares an update on the Community movie. It says it's not Donald Glover's fault. It's his schedule on this one.
They've been saying they're gonna make that movie for like 10 years now. They're freaking.
It's not gonna happen. I don't think it's going to happen.
Joel McHale is sharing an update on the Community movie after nearly 2 years since Peacock greenlit the film. The comedian also shot down rumors that Glover's schedule had delayed the production and filming and instead took the blame on himself. If it's anybody's fault, it's my schedule on this one. It's not his at all. He was available, and no, McHale told GQ about rumors of Glover's schedule pushing back filming. McHale continued, okay, I will say, please print this. This was definitely not true. It was not Donald's schedule. We love Donald. You could fully blame my schedule. So, yeah, the actor said the movie hasn't been shot yet, but hinted it will probably happen in 2025. So, we will see. But right now, if you want to blame Joel's schedule, you can. The man is working on TV like crazy. I mean, he's already the host of Crime Scene Kitchen. He appeared on an episode of Love, Death, and Robots. He is on The Bear. He's also the main star on Fox's Animal Control. He's also the host of House of Villains. And he keeps going. He keeps getting all these jobs. So I guess until he gets a Community schedule, he's going to keep saying yes to, I guess, pretty much everything. But I'm not saying that that's a bad thing because I love Joel McHale like crazy. He's like one of my favorite people.
We're never going to get this movie because they've been talking about this like, how long has Community been off the air? Like it's been about like 10 years, I think.
It's looking about as likely as Taylor Swift's directorial debut. The one that she announced like 3 years ago and then has done nothing about it since.
All right, I will defend Taylor in this court. Fox Searchlight, not Fox, but Searchlight picked up the rights to whatever it is, or she's working with them for her film. So
it's gonna be Don't Worry, Darling Part 2, and I'm all for it.
Oh no,
that would be
don't worry,
funny as
darling.
hell.
Oh
Not-
God, Kristen, I remember seeing your countdown videos to Don't Worry, Darling.
Oh, you saw those? Oh my God.
I've seen those, yeah. I was about to go like, oh my God, past Kristen doesn't know.
Oh man, those are a thing. But yeah, quickly, I just want to go into it. What is y'all's favorite like Community character?
Never watched Community.
You haven't?
No, I was like 14. The fuck was I watching Community for? I was watching regular show. The fuck was I watching Community?
Yeah, regular show is where it's at.
I was never like a live action guy. The only live action stuff I watched like Frasier and like Reba and like Golden Girls. I never watched Community.
Reba, hell yeah.
Anyway, I love Abed.
Abed, trying Abed in the morning.
Wait a minute. Was it Community the one where Chevy Chase got fired, or was that 30 Rock?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, all right. That's who I know. I liked his character because he was like, man, Chevy Chase is doing a good job playing himself, an asshole.
Yep, that's accurate. So,
I like Abed and Annie. Man,
Annie is too precious. Annie is too precious. But right now I'm gonna say my favorite Community episode is Pillows and Blankets. I think season 3 is my favorite season. I think that season is hilarious. So yeah. Do you have a favorite episode, AJ, or no? I don't have one.
I need to rewatch everything. Like I said, like I've been out of I hadn't seen it since like college, and I've been out of college for like 5 years at this point.
Okay.
Actually, there was a running joke in Community that I did keep up with. You ever notice in Community when they said Beetlejuice 3 times, you just walk by a screen like in the background? That was a running joke. That actually I was like, okay, that's kind of funny, and they kept it consistent too. Like, all right, that's a good long-term joke. I'd probably do that too. Respect.
The ongoing joke. But anyways, guys, we'll just wrap it up and say that's our news. If you want us to talk about anything, let us know. Send us a message or put it on our Instagram. We will find it somehow.
Yeah. But let's get into the topic. Netflix's newest film, Hitman, starring Glen Powell.
You enjoying your pie?
All pie is good pie. So, am I the right guy to eliminate your problem?
All right, so the topic today, this is something that my co-host has been bugging me about to do one for a month. No, I'm joking. I love you, Kristen.
I love you too.
We're talking about the newest film, which says 2023 because it did release last year in Venice, but it actually officially came out this year, 2024. I'm gonna use the June release date because it was in theaters on May, but we're just say June on Netflix. It's called Hitman. It stars Glen Powell. It's directed by Richard Linklater. It also stars Adria Arjona, Austin Emilio, and Retta. And the story of it follows a New Orleans police contractor who poses as a reliable hitman as he tries to save a woman in need. And it's actually based on a true story, the basic premise of a college professor who worked for the Houston police in the late 80s and 90s as a fake hitman, as described in the 2001 magazine article by Skip Hollandsworth. So we watched it, and we got some thoughts about it. But before that, I want to get into Richard Linklater's career because I'm like, that name sounded familiar. If you want to know what he's directed, well, he directed one of my favorite films, Dazed and Confused, back in 1983.
Hell yeah.
He also has directed School of Rock, another classic. The 2005 Bad News Bears was actually kind of low-key funny. In my opinion, he directed Boyhood. I love that movie. That movie's actually really emotional for me. And he directed a movie that I feel like is underrated, and that's Bernie with Jack Black, which is
that's very underrated.
Never seen.
It's a good movie. I recommend it. And yeah,
see it.
he has directed oh, and the last thing I saw him do was Where'd You Go, Bernadette, with Kate Blanchett.
I think that's his weakest one. I will put Me and Orson Welles over that. I remember seeing Me and Orson Welles because I was excited for Zac Efron.
But yeah,
if I had to pick Richard Linklater's weakest, I'd probably say Bernadette. But like Richard Linklater is one of my favorite directors. If he's not top 3, he's top 5.
Mm-hmm. He definitely is. Like, I was thinking about it for a while. I was like, this man thinks of like unique stories, but everything comes off as so rich and natural, the way the storytelling is,
He knows how to capture human dynamics so well. He knows how to capture human chemistry so well. He knows how to direct a conversation. Like, I would say, like, Before Sunset kind of feels like an action movie, even though that's like 2 people just talking back and forth, but there's like actual stakes at hand. Like, there's a flight that's about to go off. There's the conflict that Jesse is married, so he should catch feelings for Celine. And it's crazy. And I've actually described Hitman on another podcast as an action movie where nobody pulls the trigger. Like, the weapon here is just dialogue, and Glen Powell delivers all of that dialogue perfectly. Like, as charming as you can get. Like, he is so convincing. Like, from the moment he puts on this fake like Hitman persona, like, he is like actually so, like, if you didn't know that he wasn't a hitman, you'd be convinced that he is actually this hitman.
Yeah.
It's insane.
No, yeah, and that's the best thing about this movie, is that you just said it, like the dialogue, especially in the scene that, like, the text message scene where he's like on his iPhone and he's typing out to her, what it is, you feel like, you feel like a gun could whip out any second, but it doesn't, it's just words of exchange, and the conversation is just so on point, and it's very thrilling because you feel like, is he gonna get caught? But or is she gonna get caught? Like, it's so entertaining and it's so on point, and it feels like, I'm snapping my fingers right now, and it feels like, when you snap your finger, it gets on beat and beat and beat and doesn't lose focus on what it is, and I want to praise the pacing of this movie due to that as well.
The stakes are nonstop. Like, there's always something for Glen Powell's character to worry about. Like, there's something like always keeping him on his toes, but they kind of make him as just somebody who is kind of a coward in retrospect. Like, when he's first like assigned to be like a fake hitman, like, he looks like he's about to shit a brick. Like, he's so nervous, but then he nails it because like he knows how to be like suave and charming.
Yeah. He's a very charming actor. Like, I remember like watching him, even he's like kind of a jerk in Scream Queens, because that's how I really got to know him. And I was like, dang, he's such a jerk, but I love his dialogue. And then you look at stuff that he did between, Hidden Figures, Everybody Wants Them, which he also worked on with Richard Linklater, and Set It Up, and, even Top Gun Maverick, he just knows how to play it cool and keep the charm up,
He was the best performance in Top Gun Maverick for me.
He's so good in it. I think all the performances in Top Gun Maverick are great, but one of the last impressions is Glen Powell in that film. But anyways, Mac, let me turn to you for a second.
Sorry, Mac.
No, it's okay. With all this, oh my gosh, I could keep going on about Glen Powell, but what were your thoughts on Hitman?
I thought it was good.
Hey,
really?
I'm not really a romantic guy, but the comedy was kind of funny, so it was fine. like I said, I think Glen Powell is a good actor. I think he might be going a little bit of the Pedro Pascal route. I think he's getting cast for too many things. I think he might be a flavor of the month, so we need to be careful with that. But I like the performances of it too. I think with him, he has that good comedic touch and styling with it, and it is a movie where it's like I feel like it's subverts your expectation because you're looking at it, it's like, oh, it's gonna be like a Hitman. He's gonna be like that. It's like actually no, it's actually a very smartly written story, and it doesn't use the action as that telling point, and it makes it interesting because Glen Powell helped write the script. Yes. So I think he has a career in script writing as well. He should probably think about that as well.
I do think based on his performance though, we're gonna probably see him nominated for a Golden Globe. I don't think though for an Oscar, definitely for a Golden Globe.
Well, I mean, so far, I was gonna say, so far this year, when it comes to best performances in the movie, who are like the top? I think he might get edges out something because unless Gladiator, the only other movie I'm seeing that's gonna probably have a lot of nominations is probably Gladiator 2, which that's a long shot because I don't think that movie will be good. Like, I think that he'll be good to get nominated for an Oscar. I know Golden Globe for sure, but Oscars, he's probably gonna get something.
What do you think, AJ?
Sorry, Yanni.
No, you're good.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a Golden Globe. I'm hoping for an Oscar. Maybe an Oscar nomination for screenwriting.
I agree with that.
Which I would hope for, but like I thought he was just so goddamn good in this movie as well as Adria Arjona. But like Glen Powell had like so much to do and so much like riding on him. And I truly believe the movie would not work as well if it wasn't for him.
Who do you think would have been another casting choice for this film?
I don't know.
I feel like
I don't know.
That makes sense, but yeah, I think the way the film is put together, it's truly Glen's film. And Linklater puts the whole, I think, piece together in a really nice presentation, how this is Glen's movie, this is our movie star, this is the guy, everybo's gonna want for it. And I think we see that now. I think given the praise the film got with, Venice and Toronto and BFI, and then knowing it was like one of the big movies to get acquired from, TIFF and everything, because I remember hearing it was picked up and Netflix got the rights. And I was like, oh my God, like this could have been like a film like Searchlight could have picked up, but knowing Netflix got the rights, it's like amazing. Even Focus Features probably could have picked this up.
I've seen this in the theater. I've seen it in the theater twice and then
damn,
on my phone. Yeah, I had the opportunity to watch this in the theater. It hits in a theater. It really does hit watching it with an audience.
I wish I got to see it in a theater, and I know it was only playing in like select markets, but it should have been like a wider release, kind of like what Apple is doing with their films, at least have it in theaters for like a month and a half and then wait like another month and a half to put it on streaming, so because I feel like it would have had the same effect,
I didn't even know it was a theater release till I saw it there. I thought this was a straight up Netflix film. Like, it's kind of weird that it kind of, I'm looking at the release thing tab and it says that it had select theaters for it. I don't even say maybe like a week. It probably got the Knives Out treatment where it was in the theater for like a week and they said, here you go. Because it ended up grossing like $3.4 million. That was 8.8 million budget.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So but anyways, are you excited to see what this has for Glen Powell going forward? Because we are going to see him in just like almost a week in Twisters, and then he's going to work on this next film called Huntington. Does this give you hope for Glen Powell for the future and wanting to see in other films?
He's fine.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, he's fine. Like, I don't think like this is gonna, like I said, he's a very up and coming, not up and coming. I guess he's starting to hit that peak popularity because now when people are actually like, oh, I know who that is. That's the guy from Top Gun. That's the guy from Devotion. That's the guy from Hitman. They're starting to like recognize that. So I think he's starting to become that box office draw you want. Because I know there's a few people, not just because it's a, well, adding along that Twisters is a sequel to Twister, that they're going to go see it because he's in it too. And he's essentially the new generation Bill Paxton for that role.
Are you excited for Twisters, AJ?
I'm very excited for Twisters. Are you serious? Hell yeah.
I just got the Blu-ray of it, and my husband hasn't seen it, and I'm excited to show it to him.
Oh, it's gonna be so dumb, but I'm gonna love it.
I think it's gonna be a dumb fun one, but I like the director Minari, so I'm just curious to see how Minari and then this is just gonna be like coming together.
He shot it on film, thank God.
I know. I saw the Instagram post that Kodak's put up, and saw the different lenses that they were using, then the cameras. I was like, okay, I see what they're doing.
I see what they're cooking.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. But yes, Huntington is another film, but that's going to come out, I think, next year. So it's kind of a similar thing where it tells the story of a young man that hatches a murderous plot to inherit his family's wealth. And that's got Ed Harris in it. So I think that's going to be some good theater time.
I like this director. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, he's a good director. I'm excited because he did Emily the Criminal. I saw that at Sundance, and that's like an underrated watch. And knowing the cast that he got for this film, I'm very excited.
And his last name is Ford, so I relate.
Exactly. You should shout him out and see if you can see if you're blood related and say, can I guest star in the movie or go to the premiere?
I would love that. But sorry, go on.
All right, but anyways, we'll wrap it up quickly and just say I think it's one of my favorite films of the year. Definitely. It's in like my top 5 right now. I'm giving it an A. Mac, and then we'll cut to AJ on your scores. So Mac?
Like I said, it was good. I'd probably give it like a B+.
AJ?
It is my absolute favorite movie of the year. Yes. Like, this was basically everything that I wanted it to be. I was looking forward to it like ever since the buzz came out of the New York Film Festival. Mm-hmm. And I was just so happy to see Linklater back. Because like I said, I didn't love Where'd You Go, Bernadette, but I did really like Apollo 10.5. But this was like the return to form with Linklater. Like I said, he is at his best when he's just focusing on just the human dynamic. Like he's at his best when he's just like putting two people in a room and just letting them connect. But what I also love about this movie is that it isn't afraid to go as far as it needs to go. It is a horny movie. It's not afraid to get so horny and sexy. And the chemistry between Glen Powell and Adria is just so believable.
It's electrifying.
So adorable. Exactly. And of course, who could? Yeah, sorry, I can't talk. Who can forget Adria's line deliveries in this movie? You know, going from like, "Who the fuck is Gary?" And
yes.
But my favorite line delivery from Adria was when they were leaving the bar, and then she runs into her ex-boyfriend, and then Glenn pulls the gun on him and says, "Apologize, motherfucker." And then she comes right up to him and says, "Yeah, apologize, motherfucker." And oh my God, I love that so much.
It's a good scene.
Horrible. It's so funny. Like she, I think, deserves as much praise as Glenn, even though like the movie is pretty much riding on Glenn's shoulders, and we basically already admitted that he nailed it. But I think the reason why I love this movie so much is because of the dialogue. Like it is very charming and very suave, but like I said earlier, there are stakes. Like there is something constantly keeping this guy just on his toes, just like constantly having to look over his shoulder and just, just kind of have like that warning light in his head that's just like ready to go off at any point. And it all just kind of leads to that notes app scene, which might be my favorite scene of the entire year. Like that scene is just so insanely satisfying.
Yeah.
And at first, like, I was like, why would she like pay attention to him? Like after she found out, his identity. But then like she actually like started to listen and just went along with it, because now she kind of had that warning light in her mind.
Yeah.
And it also just leads to that ending, which probably might be my only minor gripe with the movie. The ending is a little too goofy.
Yeah.
Like, but I don't know. I was still satisfied. Like,
I felt very satisfied with that ending, honestly.
what was that?
I felt pretty satisfied with the way it concludes. Like it's
Yeah.
goofy and it's kind of like wrapped up together kind of quickly. And
Yeah,
you just kind of go like, okay, but it makes sense for the characters and the story. So
exactly. And literally, like, they kind of make fun of that whole thing by the end by saying like this was a true story except for the murders. We made that part up. And that's just like fucking great. Like they needed that like extra punch to the movie in order for us to like be fully engaged. And I would say that I was fully engaged throughout this entire thing. Like this is one of the definitive like action movie where nobody pulls the trigger. It is like the rom-com where basically everyone is just tense. Like everyone has to be on their feet. And I think that's why I love this movie as much as I do. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10 for now. It is currently my favorite movie of the year. That's probably going to change. I am seeing Long Legs on Thursday.
Oh my gosh, I want to see that.
I'm excited for that.
I will let you know how I feel. and and I don't know, it's looking pretty good. That could take my top spot. Or Sean Baker has a new movie, Nora. I love all his movies.
Yeah, Sean Baker is so good. Ugh. And anyways, guys, I want to wrap it up and say, because we didn't acknowledge really Rita. So shout out to Rita. I love her in the small scenes that she's in. I think she's so comedically funny. And I will say, all pie is good pie.
All pie is good pie.
All righties. So guys, if you want to check out Hitman, go watch it on Netflix. We all highly recommend it. So for now, Mac, are you ready to wrap this up?
Yeah, let's get it going. I want to thank you all for tuning in on this fine episode. And then thank our special guest AJ for joining us on. This is a very, so we definitely want to have you on in the future more.
Thank you. I hope I was a good guest.
You were an excellent guest.
You had that nice Mr. Plinkett energy. We're just like, Star Wars: The Phantom Menace was the worst thing since my son.
Star Wars Episode 1: The Phantom Menace is the worst thing since my son.
Oh my god! I just think of now when I hear Mr. Plinkett, I just see Desmond from Smiling Friends.
I love Smiling Friends.
Oh my gosh, we had to watch. I've watched season 1 at least 4 times.
Didn't watch season 2 yet because I had to cancel my HBO Max subscription.
Just watch it.
Like, what about that? What about the ant? Man, I guess it's kind of cool. That's literally me. It's like, I guess it's kind of cool. But AJ, once again, thank you. His links will all be in the description below. Kristen, what is our next episode? I'm losing track of these things.
Yes, don't worry. I got you, my guy. Next up, we are going to review and go back to the 90s and watch the first Twister. So,
that's right, yes.
Yeah, and then after that, we're going to review the latest Twisters. And then after that, it's going to be one of the mega movies of the year, Marvel's Deadpool and Wolverine. And then we got some other stuff planned that we'll eventually figure out.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch the original Twisters. I love that movie. But I got to go. There's a cow. This one of my favorites.
I need to see the original Twisters. I've never seen it.
Really?
Never seen Twister.
It's real. It's a classic. It's just because of Bill Paxton alone is what's great. So
it's a fun disaster movie.
It's just a fun movie just to be like, all right, this is great. This is 90s. This is how it's gonna be. And then knowing it's like 20 years, almost maybe 30. I don't even know. I can't even think right now. But yeah, we're gonna go do a throwback next time you hear us. So for now, go follow us on socials.
Yes, link in the bio to everything. I've been Mac. This has been Kristen, and this is my special guest, AJ. You've been listening to the M&K Productions Podcast, and we'll see you all in the next episode. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.